Toyota has been using its 2.4-liter Turbo 4 to replace the big naturally aspirated V6 in its larger models, more efficient, less emissions, and the Alphard gets this generational change. The T24A FTS makes 278 PS and 430 Nm of torque from 1,700 to 3,600 RPM. The dual VVTi unit is paired to an 8-speed direct shift conventional automatic gearbox with manual mode. If you're wondering, the 2GR FE 3.5-liter V6 from the previous AH30 generation made 271 PS and 340 Nm at 4,700 RPM, so we're looking at a big difference of 7 PS and 90 Nm, and with all of that torque made much lower in the power band too. The V6 was mated to a 6-speed auto, so we gained 2 extra ratios here. The 235 kg Alphard 2.4T's top speed is 180 km per hour and claimed fuel consumption is 9.0 liters per 100 km. Auto start-stop is standard and there's an eco-drive mode. Speaking of powertrains, in Japan, the latest Alphard is available with a 2.5 LNA engine, as per our Vellfire, and a series parallel hybrid that pairs a dynamic force engine, specifically the A25A FXS 2.5 LNA with 190 PS/236 Nm, with an e-motor with 182 PS/270 Nm. Total system output for the HEV, which we covered at GIIAS 2023, is 250 PS in Japan. There's also an E4 version that adds a 54 PS/121 Nm e-motor at the rear axle. It has to be noted though that we're getting an unusual combo. In Japan, the Alphard is only available with the 2.5 LNA and HEV, while the Executive Lounge is hybrid only. There, the sportier flavored Vellfire, no EL option, gets 2 engine choices, HEV and turbo. Perhaps it's due to the Alphard being given a higher positioning by UMWT, but we get inverse combos, Alphard Turbo, Vellfire NA. Also, since the Vellfire is the sportier twin, its suspension gets a front performance brace and the tires are UHP Dunlops. Those are all in place to match the output from the most junior engine and a CVT. No hybrid in a country where petrol is cheaper than Coke. And where Alphard drivers idle most of the day without a care about FC, is understandable though. The hybrid is sold in both Thailand and Indonesia. By the way, let's move on. The AH40 might be immediately recognizable as an Alphard, but it's all new underneath with the TNGA platform. Dimensions-wise, the Alphard is a touch longer than before at 5,010 mm, but the 1,850 mm width and 3,000 mm wheelbase are unchanged. Ditto the height, which tops out at 1,950 mm. Why didn't they go bigger? The Alphard may be ubiquitous on our roads, but it's primarily a model for Japan. The box on wheels needs to fit standard automated parking systems in its home market, so this is the limit. However, interior space between the front and second row seats, and between second and third row seats, are up by 5 mm and 10 mm respectively. Toyota claims more comfort and a better drive. The new Alphard features straight rockers and a V-shaped brace in the rear for a 50% improvement in rigidity. Toyota also optimized the use of structural adhesives to limit deformation of the body and achieve outstanding maneuverability and stability. Ultimate comfort is the mission here, and measures like the use of rubber bushings in the attachment portions of the cushion frames, and memory foam in the seats, combine for approximately 30% reduction in vibration. The outgoing Alphard is already a very luxurious machine, but this one takes things a step further. And it's a big step. Before heading to the main hall, let's take a look at the cockpit, which is very Lexus in design and even materials. All touch points are covered in smooth and soft material, and the Premium Nappa Leather is discernibly more supple than the synthetic leather in the Vellfire. Your chauffeur, or yourself during the weekends, will be looking at a 12.3-inch digital instrument panel and head-up display, but the dashboard's centerpiece is the 14-inch touchscreen that integrates AC, auto with Nano X, and seat ventilation/heating controls. From the previous gen's UMWT doubled-in, this factory unit is leagues ahead in both function and appearance. There's Apple CarPlay and Android Auto connectivity, wireless charging, and a 15-speaker JBL sound system. The steering wheel has wood grain trim, heating and powered tilt/telescopic adjustment with memory. New to this generation and exclusive to the Alphard in Malaysia, meaning not available in the Vellfire, are electrostatic switches and paddle shifters. The steering controls are minimal, just like the very clean center console, which aside from the head unit/AC, has only a few driving-related buttons behind the gear lever. Another upgrade over the previous car is the digital rear-view mirror, which is fed by a discreetly integrated camera above the rear Toyota logo. Lastly, the driver's seat is 8-way powered with memory, while the front passenger chair is 4-way powered, both with heating and ventilation. The driver gets all kinds of views to assist in parking, and you can choose the color of the avatar to match your Alphard's color. UMWT has added front and rear dashcams. What a plush workspace for the driver, but an Alphard is all about the VIP seats in the rear. They're all 7-seaters, but the executive lounge's chairs are wider, which means that you'll need the electronic slider to access the third-row seats, which flip up to the side 50:50 when not in use, like an old-school 4x4S. In the Vellfire, it's still possible to squeeze through the two captain chairs. You hear that term quite often these days when it comes to individual middle-row seats, but if this rider was a product guy, I won't call the Alphard seats that. Surely the captain of the plane doesn't sit as well as a passenger in first class. The Alphard EL seats are majestic. Functions that you won't find on the Vellfire's narrower ottoman seats are detachable phone-like remote controls, audio, climate, 64-color roof lighting, seats, a table with vanity mirror that is stowed in the armrest. Vellfire gets a shared flip-up tray between the seats, and relax power recline with massaging function. Adding greatly to the airplane-style sense of occasion are the glass roof panels, bisected by a panel that has a 14-inch screen, 2 flip-down sunglass bins, lights, controls, and air con vents. This means that each VIP seat gets its own, fixed, roof glass panel with shade. Speaking of shades, the electronic side window shades come down instead, go up, a small thing that I find really cool. No more sunroof for the driver in this generation. There's no shortage of charging and storage spaces. Below the inner armrest is a USB-C port and a bin for bottles/drinks. The outer armrest has a flip-open cup holder if you want your beverage at arm level. Behind the cockpit's center console lies AC vents, an AC plug and a bin. Below the front seats are slim trays that I can imagine hotel slippers in. Last but not least, the Alphard exclusive quiet sliding door is truly more silent in operation compared to the regular door. We compared them. There's nothing much to say about the third-row seats other than the fact that technically, this is a bench for 3 people and the Alphard is a 7-seater. It's best for 2 though, and occupants have their own USB-C ports, 7 in total, cup holders and electronic sunshades. And a big reason to be envious of those in front. Finally, the design differences between the Alphard and Vellfire. The Alphard sports a much larger grille than before, filled with armor plating style inserts and chrome accents, nicely integrated with distinctive LED daytime running light signatures that are like dash lines. The dash lines motif is found on the tail lamps too, with a downturned chrome strip linking them. Alphard is spelled out prominently above the number plate, like on the Camry. The side profile of the box sports a prominent beltline that looks like a Z. It's at this Z intersection that you find the traditional Alphard logo, which used to be on the front grille. That spot is now taken by the Toyota emblem, which means that the only places you'll find the Alphard logo is on above-mentioned pillar and the key fob. The Vellfire's face has its grille area filled with horizontal slats from top to bottom, and its jaw is square